Welcome to the Porch Swing Podcast, episode 002. I'm Joe Webb. Today we're on the porch with my good buddy, Alec Petford. What's up, my man?
What's going on, dude?
Man, just hanging out. We've been trying to get this set up for a while,
Heck yeah, man. I'm
Just life is just crazy, you know what I mean? It's like, you can plan a schedule, but it feels like I don't know, man. It feels like you plan a schedule and then there's always like a roadblock. You know what I mean?
oh yeah. Life happens all the time. I feel
Dude,
that.
so how's Arizona?
Man, it's so good. Being back home has just been the coolest thing ever. I get to hang with all my best friends and my family, and it's been awesome. So
Yeah. So for all the listeners, I guess me and Alec can give you a little backstory on how I know this dude from Arizona. So back when I moved to Nashville, it was literally like within weeks I started at a school called SAE Institute for Music and for music business. Or no, what was it? Music entertainment.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah. Me and him both joined at the same time for the school, and we like had the same class together. And I don't know, dude, I think me and you just like kicked it off.
oh yeah. I was like, this dude's country as hell. We're gonna be best friends. So it was awesome.
And it felt and it I mean, I knew Hunter, but you didn't really know anybody up there yet. And it kind of like it was good for you, but it was also good for me because we weren't just like because you hear these horror stories, man, like people moving to Nashville and they kind of just they don't know nobody. You
Oh
know,
yeah, man.
they're just like walking down Broadway, like, "Hey, man, you want to be my friend?"
Yeah, it's a scary thing moving out there, but
Yeah. So me and him met in class, and we just, um, I don't know, dude. Like I said, we just kicked it off, man, and we had a, I don't know how much learning we did in that class, but
yeah, man. I don't either, but somehow got through it.
yeah, man, you graduated.
Yes, I did.
So
Yes.
do you feel like that entertainment degree is, I guess, do you feel like it's helped you a little bit?
Actually, yeah, man. So funny story. Right before I ever moved out there, my mom for about a year was just like, because I'd been out to Nashville a couple times, and I actually looked at a couple schools, and then I came back to Arizona, and for like a year, my mom would like wake me up in the mornings and just be like, "So you ready to like go to that college yet?" And I'm just like, "Nope, nope, nope." But then finally, I was like, "Man, I'll just do it." And
Yeah. So
now,
she was kicking you out of Arizona.
in a way, yeah, yeah, pushing me. But yeah, I learned a lot. I actually just started my own company called Night Horse Entertainment, and no doubt that I won't say everything there was necessary to learn, but I learned a lot that I've taken with me. So
Yeah, yeah, and so y'all know Alec. He's a singer songwriter too, and we'll get into some of that, in a little bit. He's got some cool stories too. And those cool stories it's crazy because it's like you tell these people your stories, from Nashville back home, and they just can't believe it. You know what I mean? It's like the people that you've met and things like that. But up there, it's not like up there. It's not like it's not. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not like a darn. It's not like you're living watching TV and you're like you see these country stars as like heroes. When you get there, they're actual people. You know what I mean?
right, yeah, for sure, for sure.
But tell us, man. So where I know you're from Arizona, but tell the people a little bit about Arizona and where you're from and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, man. So I'm from a little town right outside of Tucson, Arizona, and around here it's just I'm looking at it right now. It's just desert, cactus, and it's kind of hard to imagine if you've never been out here, but uh a lot of rodeo. All my friends are into rodeo and horses, and it's just the best. So I'm grateful to be from a place like this and and write music, because I feel like I have some good stuff to write about that maybe not a lot of other people do. So
Yeah.
but it's great, man. It's hot all the time, and it's a cool place. I love it here. So
I think that's what makes Nashville songwriting so cool, because you get all these people from different walks of life that have their own meaning of, I don't know, for instance, I was going to say, when you were telling me, when you were talking about, what it looks like in Arizona, in my head, I'm thinking that's God's country. But,
oh yeah,
but,
no doubt.
but all across the South and things like that, we say the same thing. When you see the sunset in a cornfield, it's like, that's God's country.
Yeah.
But then you get two people from different walk of life into a writing room, and sometimes it just comes out as magic. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You and I have wrote a couple like that
Yeah,
about,
man.
living in Nashville, and just wishing we could be back home, and living the life we know. And so um
I think it gets
yeah, man.
I think I think it gets hard for a lot of people in Nashville. Is like, you love it there, but it's like you still miss home. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, when this whole pandemic thing happened, I thought I would, move home for a month, maybe 2 months, and there was no food on the shelves at the grocery store, and life was getting kind of scary. So I thought I'd be home for, 2 months or so and come back. Well, now it's been a year. It's just been about exactly a year. So, but I'm super excited that everything's kind of coming back to normal life, and I can't wait to get back out there and kind of pick up there what I left off. But definitely been it's kind of crazy because you, as a songwriter, it takes so long to meet the right people and to get in the right rooms and just kind of get that momentum, if you will, as a songwriter. And I felt like I was getting some momentum for the first time right before all this happened, and I'm just I was kind of bummed for a while, and no one really knew it was going to happen. But to be honest with you, I'm living with my best friend from home right now, and we've been actually writing every single night just about, and I've wrote some of my favorite songs I've ever wrote, and that never would have happened. The topics, the things I'm writing about, never would have happened if I was in Nashville. So that's a blessing. That's probably going to be most of my first album, actually, is the songs I've wrote here during the pandemic. So that's going to be kind of cool. So
Yeah, man, dude, it's our story. You know what I mean? As bad as life goes sometimes, and God knows that mine's went certain ways, and good and bad. And it's like, it's hard when you're in the moment to look at what's happening as your story, but I think that sometimes it comes out as a blessing. Sometimes,
no question, man. I like I said, I could not be happier with music right now, and I've been away from Nashville for a year. I visited once or twice, but I could not be happier with the songs I wrote, and I'm really excited to share those with everybody pretty soon. So
man, did we have some fun times up there though? Oh my gosh,
too much fun, too much fun.
dude. So my first podcast, it was the first episode of this thing, and I was talking to Dalton Dover, and shout out to Dalton, by the way. But I
Yeah, man.
I was I was telling him I was telling him something about how Nashville is pretty much you you're living on adrenaline and Adderall sometimes. You know what I mean? It's because, dude, it's like it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It's you
It
hear
does
that
not
you
does not stop. Nope, that's
and
for
I
sure.
say the word Adderall. Like, I'm not saying that we eat a lot of Adderall by no means, but that's what it feels like. You need it though. You know what I mean?
It does, man. I mean, you're up, hanging out. The bars close at 3 o'clock, and then after that, usually it's where are we going after this kind of deal, and you end up staying up all night, and it's just crazy. It's totally different, man. If no one's ever lived that life,
Dude, so
and I don't think I slept at all for
yeah,
those 3 years.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good, man.
Speaking of bars getting out at 3 o'clock in the morning, me and you were talking a while back about Priscilla Block across the hallway from you. How cool is that?
Yeah,
And that isn't that just like a perfect example of like dreams in that town? You know what I mean?
yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know if I think she had a friend that was living on the same floor as me. There, right there in Midtown, and I got to know her, and I'm just so happy for her, man, because I always knew she was super talented, and but she put in the work. She wrote, and she went after it, and I mean, today, for example, I'm going down the road to work, and listen to the highway, and her song comes on, man, and it's so cool, man, that
Yeah,
that
and
happened for her. I'm so happy for her. So
kind of where I was going with that, and I think I kind of skipped it, but what I was talking about was, we would leave the bar, and then I only went over there one time with you guys, but we went back to your apartment, and right across the hallway from your studio was her apartment, or where she was living, and we just we just sat in a circle and just like played. You know what I mean? And it's really cool. And if y'all don't know Priscilla Block, you're missing out. She's got a song on the radio right now called "Just About Over You," and I don't want to say this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that TikTok was a huge platform for her, and that's what kind of helped kickstart her career.
yeah, man, I think you're right. And I'm so new to TikTok. Like I just got one, just because everyone was talking about it all the time. I just kind of gave in and got one, and I think I posted 2 or 3 clips now, and I was amazed because a video that you and me, we were singing in the parking garage with 2 of our other buddies, just singing harmonies, and I had like no followers on TikTok yet. I think I had like 40 followers, and I threw this video on there, and I mean, it's got like 36,000 views right now, or TikTok. It's really cool. And see what happens. But I think it's a great tool for artists and songwriters for sure. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna apologize to everybody first of all if the audio comes out on this podcast a little weird. Me and Alec are doing this podcast from I don't know how many hours you are from, what, like 24 hours away, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'm in
Yep.
Georgia. And so thank y'all for listening. First of all, and I do apologize if the audio goes a little south. We're doing this over Zoom, so like I said, it's a learning experience too. I'm learning it, and I hope that one day we can get to the point where we actually have a studio and we can do, video podcasts. If you do, that's the kind of the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You'll be doing that soon, man. I'm proud of you for starting this thing up, and I think it's awesome. Thanks for letting me come on here and hang out with you, man.
Dude, so tell us about the company you're starting up, kind of like what that is and how it works and what your goals are with it.
Yeah, man. So it's called Night Horse Entertainment, and basically I'm just going to promote concerts, right? So you go to a concert, and there's a promoter that talks to the booking agent, gets the artist, gets the venue, lines up everything, promotes the show, and kind of just makes the whole thing happen. And after I went to school, I was thinking of I had an internship at United Talent Agency. I was there for 7 or 8 months, and I got to be around a lot of agents and stuff. And that's just kind of the route that I chose to go because I love to be around it. I love to be at concerts and even if I'm not singing or whatever, I love to be there. And so I thought, let's start something up. I feel like I'm ready for this. And so, yeah, I just, everything's up and running. I'm just talking to some buddies. And I think, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this yet, but I won't yet because I don't know. I won't say it till it's official, but another good buddy of mine who has blown up recently, um, his name rhymes with Trey Lewis a little bit, but we're trying to get him out here and do a fun show. And man, that's another guy I'm so proud of, man. Talk about the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
Always just He was always just the coolest dude to me. We only rode a couple times, but I was I was around him quite a bit, and just just a just a good guy, man. And honestly, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So, but yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like since I moved back, Priscilla and Trey have just blown up. It's crazy. So,
Let me tell you who I'm the most excited about out of everybody. I think to see, and I'm such a huge fan, man. I think it's because I just love that. I mean, I really love his songwriting. Don't get me wrong, but I just love that country. Just that country. I don't know. It's really country music, and I think that's kind of my example of country music is Drew Parker, man. And
yeah.
I was sitting on my recliner one day, and I kind of know Drew a little bit. We've talked about iRacing a lot. I don't know if you know what that is, but we were talking about iRacing one day. And anyway, I'm sitting on my recliner and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and it popped up that he got a record deal finally. And then I was like almost jumped out of my recliner. I was so happy just because,
Oh yeah.
dude, I love to see good people get good things. And I've
Yeah.
I've never in my career ever been, we all try to not be jealous of another one. You just want to be happy for those people. And that dude just put in his work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I I've only met him probably twice, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you can remember me, but I thought the same thing, man. Super talented guy, super nice guy, and I love his music, man. I was actually just listening uh to his music the other day, and he came on the highway too, and man, I'm it's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm so happy for anybody in that town that is able to break through, no matter how they do it, no matter what. It's just like you got to cheer them on, because it's so hard, you
And
know.
if the listeners, if y'all don't know, man, Nashville is, and you don't really get it until you're there. It is like, dude, you go to Burger King and you get a damn chicken fry. 9 times out of 10, that person that gave you that chicken fry is there to play music too, or write, or be a part of the industry. There's just no tell. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. The talent in that town is unbelievable, like you said, man. So
And the
it's
and the people you meet, dude, it just blows your mind. I tell people this story all the time because it's just like the coolest thing to me. I wasn't in Nashville very long, and me and Hunter Price, we were in Losers, obviously, like always. We were always there, all three of us. And I was in Losers, and you might have to tell me his name because I probably done forgot it. But anyway, I'm standing out there on the deck with Hunter, and this guy, he's standing there, and I'm talking to him, and he's got like a flat bill hat on. He's got pins all over. I'm like, that's kind of cool. And we're just talking, talking about music, smoking a Marlboro probably, and he gets to telling me this story about he was outside cutting his grass one day, and he was just having a really hard time, and I think he said a rock flew out of his lawnmower, hit his house, and came back, hit him in the face.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, and he like looked down and was just, you know, just all down, and he was like, "Every storm runs out of rain." And
Okay.
yeah, and that ended up being the title, that Gary Allen song. You know what I mean? That he
Sure.
wrote.
Sure. Great song.
And I can't think of his name, and I feel so awful. I'll think of it in a minute.
Man, I usually know too, and
Warren,
I don't think I know who you're talking about there, but
it's something Warren, dude. I can't remember. That's awful. I can't. I'm gonna start a conversation. I'll be able to remember the dude's name. That's me.
hey, that's all right, man.
Yeah, but that's just the. I mean, that's if people don't know, man, it's like you. Everybody there plays. Everybody sings. Everybody writes. Everybody,
For
and it,
sure.
and for the most part that I found out, it's like most people are they're good people. You know what I mean? And it's like we were saying, it's so cool to see those people do break out because it's hard, man. It is so hard.
It is, man. If I could, say one thing to anybody out there who, is a writer or wants to be a writer or, who's chasing the dream, from the angle of me being an artist to sitting in a classroom and getting the music business degree to being a songwriter and it, to me it's all about the song. There's a lot of talented singers out there, a lot. Like you were saying, every waitress there probably win American Idol if they wanted it bad enough, I feel like. But um man, it's all about the song for me. And that's really what I focus on, is just is writing the best songs I can. So just keep writing. It's just they're only going to get better. They're not going to get worse. So
You had a you had a good friendship. You had a good friendship now with what, Lee Bryce?
oh yeah, man, I was
How did that story come about?
man, that's a crazy story, to be honest with you. Like a crazy story, so I feel like I have to tell it.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead, man. I'm sure people want
So
to hear.
so when I was in school and trying to pay for a $1,600 a month studio apartment,
That's
you
not
know,
that's the truth.
I was I started driving Uber, of all things, because it was flexible. I didn't have to, have a schedule. I could work here and there in between class, and man, I love this story. This story is awesome. So one night I'm given a ride to this guy, and it was like a 40-minute drive, like to Brentwood, or it was far, wherever it was. And this dude's in the back seat, just super quiet. And so I just, kind of turn the music on and drive, right? And about 5 minutes before we get to his house, he's like, "So, man, what do you do?" And I was just like, "Oh, well, I'm a songwriter, and just like everybody, and this and that." And he goes, "Man, well, my wife's a songwriter." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Everybody there's a songwriter. So I was like, I was interested, but I was like, everybody's a songwriter. So he's like, "Yeah, man, I think you should write with her sometime." And I was just like, "Okay, I'm down." And so I give him my phone number, which he then gives to his wife. And so we set up a write and everything. And turns out that she was best friends with Lee's wife, Sarah.
Yeah.
And so that Uber ride that turned into a co-write ended up being with Sarah, which is Lee Bryce's wife. And right off the bat, it was just one of those like meant to be things, because both of those girls are just amazing, amazing people, amazing human beings. But we got to write in a couple songs, and you know, Lee and Sarah have a really cool farm, and I was able to go out there and write with them, and I'll never forget it. We're sitting there writing this idea I had. And actually, true story. Sarah actually sent me the demo of this song today, which is kind of crazy coincidence. But
Yeah.
uh, I'm sitting there, and Lee's got an old Gibson hanging in their little farmhouse out there, and I'm pretty sure I was playing his guitar at the time. But we got like a first verse and kind of working through the chorus done, and in walks Lee. He walks in and just kind of takes a seat there, and I introduced myself to him, and it's kind of one of those surreal things, right?
Yeah, dude, it's just
For me
crazy.
at the time back then, because I've been a huge fan of his music forever. And anyways, he's like, well, like, why don't you play me what you guys got so far? So we ended up playing in this little first verse and chorus, and told him what the hook was, and he liked it, thank goodness. He's like, man, that's a really cool hook. Whose idea was that? And they were kind of like, well, that was Alec's idea. And I was just like, man, if Lee thinks that my hook's all right, I think we might be all right here. And anyways, that turned into a really cool friendship with Sarah and Lee. And I actually came out to Arizona when he played a show down the road for my parents and got to hang out. And we wrote a really cool song.
Dude, I remember hearing it. Just sick.
Yeah, man. We wrote a really cool one. Of course, his record was about to come out, and I was just so lucky to write with him. He's so talented, and honestly, you meet some guys that are, have been your heroes musically for a while, and you meet them, and not everybody. Every once in a while, you're just like, wow, like that's not the guy that I thought that guy would be, and but Lee was just the coolest dude ever. So yeah, I was lucky to write with him a couple times and just hang out and be around him and Sarah. And it's just one of those crazy blessings in life that you can never really imagine till it happens. And yeah, man, I
So cool. I mean, the same thing kind of happened to me, with Rodney Atkins. That was a dude.
oh yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I still I still sometimes just can't believe it. And it really wasn't. I didn't. The thing really didn't happen with me. It was my wife at the time. She ended up getting a job for Rodney, and just
Yeah,
the
I remember
just the times that I would be at his house. I just couldn't believe it, man. I told him the story one day. We were out at the ACM Awards in Vegas, and I told him the story. There was a guy from my hometown named Seth Sharp. He was a Marine. He died in combat, and I remember being like 14, 15 years old, I think. And, we sat, it was pretty cool. It's one of those small town stories where the whole town just kind of shuts down, and everybody was sitting on the side of the roads in their cars with, with American flags and all this stuff. And then the hearse drove downtown with Seth's body in the hearse. And, um, I remember we were leaving after the thing happened. We were leaving, and I remember having Rodney Atkins' "It's America" playing over the radio.
oh
Um,
yeah.
because he's one of the ones. It's like with Lee. It's like those people inspired you to even get into music, and you think these dudes are like superheroes, and then you become friends with these people, man. It's like it's such a cool full circle moment, and it
Oh,
just
for sure.
really blows your mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. It's just it's crazy, man.
So what kind of guitars you playing now?
Man, I
I've seen you've been on a classical kick, right? Or as far as older guitars go.
well, so I got super into guitars um for whatever reason. Because I used to love, what Gibsons are and Martins are and stuff, but I really dove in and like, what are the best guitars and why, and I just fell in love with like guitars, as weird as that might sound. But um, I actually, you mentioned Hunter earlier. He had that Martin, that D15 that I still have to this day. He's probably wondering where the heck it is, but no, he knows I have it. But
He's so
yeah,
wild, man. He probably don't even remember it.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I've had that. That's a great guitar. I've wrote probably most of my songs on that guitar. But I just bought a couple new guitars actually. I wanted a vintage Gibson, just something with soul, and I was able to find it's a 1945 LG1, and it's a little smaller than like a full size guitar, but man, it sounds like money. So I got that one, and then Martin, there's that vintage guitar shop there, Carter's Vintage in Nashville, and I went in and I was looking at a bunch of guitars, thinking about maybe buying one, and ended up not. I actually found I was going to the Ryman just to be there, when I was visiting town a few weeks ago, and
That's the Grand Ole Opry for the folks that don't
yeah,
know.
that's the original Opry right there in Nashville, and in the gift shop of all places, they had a guitar for sale, and not just like a shitty cheap guitar. It's like a $4,000 guitar, $3,500 guitar. But why I bought that guitar is it's a D28, but they make them like they made the old ones, like the pre-war super super valuable guitars. They're just made so well. But like the headstock, for example, has like a microphone and it says 650 on it, and it's got like a Grand Ole Opry pick guard, and it's stamped, on the inside, especially for the Grand Ole Opry Martin Custom Shop. And I just fell in love with the sound of that guitar. To this day, that might be the best sounding guitar that I've ever played, and I've played a lot of guitars. So, but I spent altogether too much money on guitars, and I'm cutting myself off for a while until we get a song cut or something for now.
So do you have any kind of like what's your? I'm not trying to get into your 10-year plan by no means, but yeah,
Yeah.
do you kind of feel like you take that drive back to Nashville and kind of go back up there and continue a little more?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I my life right now has honestly never been better. It's never been better. And that includes the songs I'm writing and everything going on here. Um, I'm around all my best friends, and I just met I just met a girl that literally feels like, I've known her forever, and she's just amazing. And I know I'm actually going to visit in 2 weeks. I'm going to be there for about a week or so, just riding with some people. But right now, my top priority with music is to get my first record out, my first album out, and that's kind of where I'm at. Go back and forth and keep writing with people, and keep trying to get some songs cut. But I know for a fact I'll be back. I'll move out there. It's just, I feel like I'm just waiting on God's timing, and whatever He has in store for me, because you know these blessings in life right now, just they wouldn't have happened had this whole pandemic not happened. And
Yeah, and I think that's I feel like that's the best way to do it is just do it when it's right, do things when it's right because um
yeah,
and I mean it's things happen for a reason, you know what I mean?
no doubt.
And you'll get that bug again and you'll know when it's time, you know what I mean? God will put it in your heart
Oh yeah.
and you'll feel like it's time again because brother, we still had a lot left, didn't we?
Oh yeah, man. We're just getting started, dude. And I'm excited for you too, man. Like I was talking to you the other day, man. I mean, I believe in you, man, as a writer, artist, whatever you want to do and put your mind to, we were running around town a lot. And after you moved, for a long, long time, everybody'd be like, yo, where's Joe? And where the heck's Joe? And, everyone was talking about you still. So I know not
Like,
just me, I know a lot of people be excited for you
yeah,
to pick that up when you're ready, man. So
yeah, they're like, oh, the big dummy went back in the army for the second time.
no, man, I'm proud of you for doing that too, man. There's no there's no greater thing you could have done, man. So I'm
Yeah,
super
it was
proud
for
of you.
a reason, and yeah, that's just another chapter in life that you have to go through. And
Man,
I'm definitely, like I said, like we said, I'm definitely not done. Just trying to kind of like you, just trying to stay, keep your feet on the ground, and do things in time.
you bet. You
Dude,
bet.
some of the time I still think about it this day, man. Just some of the times me, you, and it was usually me, you, and Hunter. That was like always um
Yeah, we were the the three dudes for
yeah,
sure.
it was me, you, and him. And some of the best times of my life. I tell people all the time, man, if there was ever a best time of my life, it was up there, because it just the people, the camaraderie, the just all of it. You know what I mean? It was just so fun. And even down to the Broadway gigs that you got paid $50 to play. They were fun.
Oh man, you betcha.
Yeah,
I can't wait, to be honest, man. I feel like life is just getting better and better and better week by week, month by month. And you know, I still haven't put out my first album. I've wrote so many songs. I mean, I could probably, honest to God, I could probably put out 15 albums of songs. I just have so many sitting there. But the timing and everything just hasn't been right. But I feel like it's getting pretty close. I got those songs I've been writing out here. I got about 8 of them that are just me, and the songs I want to share with people right now. And I'm just, obviously, as an independent artist, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to go out
they're just not, man.
and record these days. And I've just, I've been working jobs and saving money when I can. And when the time's right, I'm gonna, probably fly out to Nashville and make my first record. And I can't wait for that day. It's coming soon. It'll probably this year, to be honest with you. So,
Yeah. So, what are some of the name for the people? Some of your singles you got out right now, as far as on your streaming platforms.
oh man, I've got a couple out. They're a little older. I've got Jesus and George Strait that's out there.
That was your last, right?
Yes, yep. Jesus and George Strait. My first song I ever did was called "Let It Lie," uh, and then I have one called "Water to Whiskey," um, and then I did kind of a I did a cover of a song that's not country. It's by an artist named Khalid, who I had honestly never heard of in my life at the time. But one of my buddies showed me this song. He's like, "Hey man, you might sound pretty good on this song." And so I listened to it and I looked at him and I'm like, "All right, like let's go down in the studio in the basement and let's record it right now." So that whole night I recorded that song, and
Now, what was that called again?
it's called "Better"
Dude,
by.
I thought that was one you wrote. I didn't even know that.
No, man. No, I didn't write that one. I wish I did, because I'm sure I would fit in an excavator, digging
Yeah.
digging times. But yeah, man, those are the 4 I put out. And at the time they're good songs. But the songs I've got that I'm working on, they're they're just I feel like they're so much better than those songs, and I'm really, really excited to share them.
Well, you
So
know, that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to get better and better and better. I know for myself, I mean, I look back at the first single I ever put out, Gas in the Truck, and
yeah, I remember.
I laugh at it, honestly. And I'm not cutting myself down saying it's the worst thing in the world, but
Good song. I remember that song.
compared to some things that I've wrote and released after that, you know, it's and that's how it's supposed to go. You know, it's supposed to get a little better and a little better.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
man.
because I mean that's because you grow in life, you know what I mean? And in Nashville, dude, you really don't have a choice but to get better because you write with these people that are better than you, and that's what you want to do. And those
Of course.
people kind of it's kind of like you learn from everybody. And dude, you could be sitting at a writers round, and if y'all don't know what a writers round is, that's one of my favorite things to go to in Nashville. Basically, it's you go to a venue like I don't know, Tin Roof on Demumbrian or places like that, like Revival, and you have 3 to 4 people usually on a stage, and they go down the line, they play their original songs, and you could just go to one of those, man, and it's like you're gonna leave there either inspired or you're gonna hear the way they wrote a song, and you're like, damn, I could do the same thing.
Yeah, you learn stuff. You pick up on stuff, and that was one of the biggest things I think that helped me as a writer was just, I moved to town and I was all by myself. So I'd go out to the bars and every night and just listen to all different kinds of writers, man. And you start picking up things, you start learning, little things here and there until, your songs start getting better. And yeah, man, I miss writers rounds, man. I can't wait to be back in Nashville. Just
They're fun, dude. It's crazy. It's so fun.
yeah, man.
I think I seen last night, I believe I was on Facebook, and it just almost like gives you that feeling of damn, I wish I was there, because I want to say it was at Live Oak. I think it was at Live Oak bar there, and it was I think it was either a publishing takeover or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it was Drew Parker, another lady, I can't remember her name, and Luke Combs was in it. And you could just imagine the bar. You know what I mean? It was just freaking erupt. It was just
Oh,
nuts.
yeah, I remember seeing Luke play at Tin Roof probably 3 years ago or something like that. Just and he was just blowing up and rolls in and just Luke's just super super casual and just played his songs, and it was so cool, man, to see it from that perspective. Just him and a guitar chilling at the bar with.
You know, another thing I was going to say is those riders rounds can be a little they can be a little scary when you do it yourself, because I remember I landed in one time. It was me, Hunter, and Taylor Phillips, and somebody else. So here I am playing like, you know, my original stuff, and then the next song is Hurricane by Luke Combs that Taylor Phillips was a writer on, and he's talking about like
But
just a crazy feeling.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. My first song I ever released, I actually wrote with Taylor, which is cool, man. And
Hmm.
I've always looked up to him as a writer, for sure. Um, and yeah, man, it's one of those things that everybody's on a different path, but everybody's on the same path, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
One dude might be one dude might be driving Lyft like me and you did, and then the next guy, he might be, you know, working downtown at one of those pizza places. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, yeah, man.
everybody's having to do what they got to do to survive.
Yeah, man. But the love of music that everybody shares and is, that sounds everyone's super supportive for the most part of one another, and it's because everyone loves music, man. And
Dude, if you listen to and we'll wrap this up here in a few, but if you listen to I just lost my train of thought. Thomas Rhett's new album.
so I've heard, I think, 2 or 3 songs I haven't even heard the whole thing yet.
Bro, so it is like what I've been missing, like legit. I listened to it today.
Yeah.
I was listening to it while I was at work driving a dump truck, and the Thomas Rhett that I remember was like "Beer with Jesus," and
Oh yeah.
something to
First.
do with my hands. And he kind of went off on another path, and not saying it was bad, but it just wasn't my style that I really enjoyed. And
Yeah.
man, dude, he released this new album, and it is country, bro. Like I was like, because I mean, the one of the songs on there is "It Feels Good to Be Country Again."
Country again. Yeah, that's the one I heard actually, man, and I love that one.
Dude, I was so excited, because it's cool to hear. It's cool to hear. It's all it's always that exciting. I always look forward to New Music Fridays.
Oh yeah.
And if people don't know what that is, basically that's when just about everybody releases their new. Back in the day, it was on Friday because that's when people got their paycheck, and that's when CDs were a thing. That's when you went to Walmart and you bought your CDs, and that's when you went to record stores and you bought the records. And I guess it's kind of stuck around, and people still release their music on platforms like digital platforms on Fridays. But that's when you look forward to new music coming out is on a Friday. So I'm always just like super pumped because I know that I'm gonna get on Instagram and scroll through my stories, and people are gonna show what new song came out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when are you gonna put out some more music, man? I've been waiting on some Joe Webb.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying. I think my thing is I want to make sure that my next one is um I'm kind of bouncing around between cutting somebody else's song that they've wrote, or um maybe cutting something that I've wrote. I don't know. I had a song that I had a pretty good reaction from. It's a song called Dirt. And
Did you and I write that one?
no, I don't think so.
No, 100%. 100% we did.
Oh, did we?
100%. Yeah. At your apartment. I remember being there. It was just
Yeah.
me and you. Sure.
I think it was. I was in my apartment one night by myself, and I wrote it, and I sent you a text. I was like, "Bro, you're not gonna believe this." And
Yeah.
I sent you a little work tape of like the first verse and the chorus, and I think me and you ended up finishing it.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Dude, I forgot
Yes.
about that. That'd be cool.
Yes, sir.
That was probably the best reaction I've ever had out of a song. But no, I was talking to a producer the other day that cut my first two songs, and I told him, I was like, man, I really need to find my own kind of like my own style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like your sound and
My
everything, or your
sound, and I told him, I was like, I'd like to sit down with you, and and his idea was, find a song that I'm really, really, really into, and we just really study that and figure out what would be a good sound, for that, and still true to myself, obviously. But
right.
I'm trying, man. I'm like I said, I'm just bouncing through ideas right now. And like you were saying earlier, dude, it's so expensive. Oh my God. People don't realize, but cutting a song can be anywhere from $500 to the most I've ever paid was like near $1,000, but I'm sure it could be more than that for a song.
Oh yeah. Just yeah, as much as you want to spend, I guess.
Pretty
Oh,
much, to give people an idea, you pretty much could go buy a cheap brand new car for the price it costs to put out a whole album. I mean, that's no joke.
oh yeah.
And that and
Yeah.
that and that comes from the musicians you got to have on there, and the engineering, the
The producer.
mastering. There's a lot goes into it.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for you, whatever you choose to do, man. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see what's next for you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Well, it's been good talking to you, man. Good catching up, and
You too, man. I really appreciate you having me here, and I can't wait to kick it in Nash soon, man. So
yeah, man. Well, everybody that I'm gonna say it again. This is Alec Petford, and you need to go check out his music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever else you get your music from. Check him out, man. It's a good friend of mine, great singer, great songwriter. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And yeah, man, y'all go check him out. Follow him on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
I think it's now you got me thinking. Let me because all my music that I released for a few years actually went by my middle name. So if y'all are on you know, all my music that's out now is actually gonna be under Alec Taylor. So don't forget to look that up. But you know, I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna go with my real last name and everything. So my Instagram is Alec Petford. So
Alec Petford, there you go.
yeah, so look it up and follow me. I'll follow you back. And man, I can't thank you enough for having me on here, man. It was fun.
Hell yeah, man. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again one day when we got some more material to talk about, and we will. We will very
Oh,
soon, probably.
well, all right, buddy.
We
Good
talk
one, buddy.
talking to you, man. This has been the second episode of the Porch Swing podcast. Follow, subscribe, like it on YouTube, all that good stuff. Check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music from. There's podcasts on there also. So one day I'll have some sponsors to throw in here, but I don't as of now. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my buddy Alec. Thank you, buddy, for coming on here.
Hey,
And,
buddy. Have a good night, man. We'll talk to you soon.
good talk to you, brother.
All right, man. Bye.